Thank you. Jet, what's your take?
Well, my take comes from my personal experience. So, I'm 22-year-old detransitioner, and I'm lesbian. And when I was 14, I found trans on the internet, and I ended up at the Amsterdam clinic. Like, I'm Dutch. I ended up at the Amsterdam clinic when I was 15, and I didn't know my sexuality at that time. I thought I was bisexual. And then I was diagnosed, and I was put on blockers, which stopped my sexual development. And then I was put on testosterone, which made me attracted to men. And then for 5 years, I was just confused about my sexuality because it wasn't a proper sexuality. It was only sexual, and I wasn't like getting crushes on men. It wasn't a nice thing. It was very uncomfortable. And then when I detransitioned last year and I stopped testosterone, I went through my own sexual development that I should have gone through at 16, and I was just lesbian. So if they had just let me develop as a teenager and not stop my puberty, then I think things would have just resolved.
Just speaking to that, if you're 22, you've grown up in one of the most accepting of homosexuals society, at least in the West. To what degree did your society around you make you uncomfortable with your sexuality, or make you question or over-focus on your sexuality as a young person?
Well, I'm from the Netherlands, but I grew up in a small city on the outskirts of the Dutch Bible Belt. So it wasn't terrible, but like I had people, like neighbors in my street, that said they would disown their children if they were gay. You know, so I grew up with that. I grew up with, I was bullied my entire childhood because I was so masculine, like up until age 12 or 13. I was ostracized by other girls for not being like them.
And when the topic of gender came up, did that feel like an answer or an out?
Well, I had always felt different from other girls. I didn't know why. And then when I was 14, so this was early 2015, I found transgender men on YouTube. And it was all transgender men who used to be lesbians. I know that now, but I didn't realize it then. And it really resonated with me because they had the same experience of always having been masculine and being different and not feeling like a girl, and not liking girly things.
And what was the trigger for you to question or to go on the path of detransition?
Oh, fuck. Sorry. What happened there?
Well, I really got locked into it because at the Amsterdam clinic, they have a diagnostic trajectory, and it's 6 months, and they diagnose you, so you have a formal diagnosis. And as a child, you really trust the clinicians. So, like, for years, I was like, you know, this is the right path because I have a diagnosis. But after about 3 years on testosterone, and I had a mastectomy by then, like, after 3 years, I was kind of like, you know, I'm not any happier. I lost hope that transition would make me happier. I was like, you know, this is it. It's not going to get any better. But then I kind of wanted to quit testosterone, and I had doubts, and I was like, what if I had, you know, grown up as a girl, or what would it be like to be a woman now? I started having those thoughts after 3 years when I was about 20 years old. But then for 2 years, I just got stuck because I couldn't imagine detransitioning because I still did not want to have long hair. I did not want to wear women's clothes. And I kind of felt if I detransitioned, I would have to live up to these expectations that I felt like I could not live up to those expectations when I was 14, 15, which is why I got sucked into trans. And then when I wanted to detransition, I felt like I couldn't because I was still clinging on to having to live up to those expectations. And it was only after like 2 years of thinking, and just getting older that I realized that I don't have to live up to any expectations in order to be a woman. And I should have. And someone should have told me that when I was 14.
Yes.
Thank you.